Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to sew a polo shirt dress. So the sewing pattern you're obviously going to find down below in my description box in my shop. They're not expensive, they're also so cute, other sewing patterns, so maybe you're just going to go ahead and check them out. You're also going to get a DIN A4 document to print out and then to put also together, and as well you get a beamer document which you can work with a beamer and then you can just project it right onto the fabric, which is in my opinion really more sustainable. And for this project I do have here some elastic fabric. It is elastic in both ways and it is a jacquard, I would say. It's for this project you do need fabric which is elastic. You can use some jersey or some knit fabric, so that's just up to you, but it has to be at least a little bit elastic because the sewing pattern is for just elastic fabric, or to be just stretchable. So it's gonna work out and you're gonna fit into that, because if it's gonna be stiff fabric you won't be able to get in or out. And I sewed the size small and I used about 2 meters. So if you're gonna sew size small, you're only gonna need the fabric and you're also gonna need some fleece lining. And for the size guide I would recommend you to focus onto the chest area and also onto the hip area. You can also, if you maybe like a small into the chest area but you are large in the waist area, you can just connect these two lines. It's really easy. Don't worry about that, nothing is gonna change up or so. You're also gonna have a slit into the side, and I would say it's like a mid-length. The dress also comes with a polo shirt collar because obviously it's inspired by a polo shirt, so I thought why not using the detail also into the dress. So we have a collar and we also have like a button roll, but I'm not gonna put buttons in, so you can use buttons if you want, but you don't have to. I'm just gonna leave it like a v-neck. So I'm just gonna cut everything out right now and then I'm gonna tell you what you need so you can check if you have everything. So I did cut everything out and you're gonna see and you do need some fleece lining. So I did place some fleece lining right onto the front from the inside, and I also drawed the little square you also have on your sewing pattern. It is for the button down, and also the button down is gonna look just like that. So I did put some fleece lining onto the inside as well. So it's just a little bit more stiff and easy to work with. You have a top and a bottom collar right here. The top collar is a little bit longer and has also some fleece lining in, and the bottom collar is a little bit smaller, it's just without a fleece lining, and we do need that into the collar so the collar is laying really curvy and nice on our neck. And as well you're going to need 2 sleeves. Make sure to have your marks in the top bottom, as well a top back and a top bottom for the skirt obviously. Also you're going to need some elastic. This is just like a little elastic which is 0.5 millimeter wide, so it's not that wide, and it's like, I would say, medium stretchy. And you will have to just measure where you want the cutouts to be. So you have obviously on your sewing pattern you have where the cutouts belongs to be, and I did a little mark on right here. And so you're just gonna measure from here to there, and you're gonna need 4 pieces. So for the front you need 2, and for the back you need also 2, because then this part is also like elastic, but it's also going to be a little bit more stiff, and we have nice edges right here, how you can see. That's the front top part, and I did put some fleece lining into the inside just for the button down, so it's laying nice and flat and it's just not stretching here, and it's a little bit easier to work with. And then also you have your button down piece, and you have a little mark right there as well. On the button down you have a mark, so you're just gonna put the marks right on top of the marks, so everything is straight. And then as well you're just gonna lay this all the way straight down, and you're gonna fix that. And then when you fix it, you can just turn it around and check if the needles are straight. So maybe if the needle is right here or so, you obviously did it unstraight. And what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to sew all the way around how I marked it, and then I'm going to cut right into that. So I just sewed it, how you can see right here. It looks really nice and clean, and from the other side you also can tell. And what I'm gonna do right now, I'm just gonna cut where I marked it, so right into the middle, and then I go above a centimeter, I stop, and then I go right to the corner so we can really nicely. What I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna fold this part right over, so it's like that. And then you have 1 centimeter seam alone right here, so you're just gonna fold it 1 centimeter and just putting it right on top of here. Take a pin and then the same right here, so you're just gonna fold this over here 1 centimeter and then right on top of this. The same we're gonna do from the other side, so you're just gonna fold that once, fold this a centimeter, half a centimeter or how much seam alone you had, and then just fold it right on top. Put a pin in, and then the same up here. You also have your marks, so you can just follow your marks when you did them right. It's really important that you check your marks if they're all straight, so it's nothing wrong with it. And then what we're gonna do, we're just gonna put this part right in here, like that, and then you can almost tell how it's gonna look. So what we're gonna do, one part comes up and one comes down, so we're just gonna lay that right there, put a pin right in, and you can fold that over as well, and you see this is how it's gonna look. And we're gonna sew right here almost on top of the seam. It's fixed and we can cut off this little tail right there. You can see like from the inside it looks all nice and straight, and then also from the outside, and the one part is laying on top of the other just like that. And if you like, you can put some buttons in right there if you want, but for me I'm just gonna leave it how it is, and I'm just gonna sew from up here, like top stitching it down here, do the same right there, and then I'm gonna fold this up and sew right here as well, so everything is really nice and straight. So that's how it's gonna look, really nice and clean. And from the bottom right here I also sewed it, and what you can do, you can just now cut this off and you're done. So I would move on now with these elastic. I just cutted them how they belong to be. You have them on your sewing pattern, so you can just measure out the edge right here, and you're gonna need them 4 times. So, and what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna fold that right on the middle part, and just gonna save it once, and then I'm gonna put once, and then we're gonna zigzag stitch that, fold that twice, and again zigzag stitch that. So it is elastic as well, but from the outside we have a really nice edge. So, and I'm gonna do this with the both in the front and as well with the both in the back. Make sure you put them left sides together so the ugly side looks upwards, and then you're just gonna zigzag stitch that, and also folding it twice. If you like, you can just also if you want the opening not to be so big, you can just fold it once, it's also fine, but then you have to do it on all 4 of them, because otherwise it won't fit anymore. And what I'm going to do right now, I have the bag right here, right side up, and I also put them right sides together, just like that. And I'm not going to sew onto the bottom right here, I'm only going to sew the seams right here, the side seams, and as well the shoulder seams. And so everything is nice, and obviously don't sew where you have the elastic on, because that's gonna be the cutout. I'm gonna sew the shoulder seams right here. So the shoulder seams are sewed right now, so I can just fold that over, and now I have the pretty side up, but I'm gonna turn that and put the pretty side down to the table, and then you can just grab your sleeve, and you have, for the front you have 2 marks, and for the back you have just 1 mark, and put them also the pretty side onto the table so you don't mess up with that. What I'm always gonna do is I'm also putting the marks onto the marks first, and now you can put the seams on each other, so you know you're sewing them right on. And then as well the ending I'm gonna pin right here, and the same I'm gonna do with the second mark right here, so I'm not messing these parts up. Also, don't stretch the fabric. The curve I'm always secure one more time. So that's pinned right here, so you can just go ahead and sew the whole curve. And after we're gonna sew the side seams, and the same, exactly the same I'm gonna do right here. So lives outside of status quo. If we stop believing we're meant to be, expanding our abilities. You can just now fold it the way it belongs to be, so the front onto the back, right sides together. And what we're gonna do, we have our sleeve opening right here and the side seam, so we're just gonna sew from to the elastic right to the bottom where your sleeve is going to be right there, and the same I'm gonna do onto the other side. And if you like, you can after try that on. So for the sleeves, I'm just gonna serge all the way around. Again, you don't have to use a serger or a zigzag stitch with elastic fabric because it never won't come off. But for me, I'm just gonna do it with the sleeve and also with the hem, just for a cleaner look. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna fold that 1.5 centimeter upwards, and then I'm just gonna top stitch all the way around. I'm using a normal stitch here. You can also use a zigzag stitch if you like, but these sleeves are not tied on me, so I can use a normal stitch. Every time you use a zigzag stitch, the fabric is going to be a little bit more elastic. But yeah, and I'm going to do this with both sides of the sleeve. So the top part is all the way done, the sleeves are done, the cutouts are done, the top, and the only thing we're going to do right now is the collars. Just grab your two collars, and you have obviously a back mid, which you have to put on top of each other, and you put them right sides together, and you're just gonna pin them right on the edge right here. And as well, you're gonna do the same onto the other side right here. And don't worry about the part which is a little bit smaller, that's just fine. And you see it's like rolling up just how it has to be, and to the other side as well. And that's just because we want the collar to lay really round around the neck. And for the collar, you just need 2 threads. It's gonna put the collar right onto the sewing machine with the one corner. The first corner we just ignore, and you just sew right to the second corner, which is more than a 90-degree angle. You will have to stretch the fabric. That is in this part fine. So now I'm right on where the corner is. I'm pulling this part up, and then I'm just gonna take a thread, pulling this right between these two parts all the way to the needle, putting the presser foot down, sewing 2 stitches, pulling the presser foot up, and then you can see it's all the way sewed in. And I put both threads to the inside of the collar, just like that. You see, I'm just gonna leave that right there and sew all the way to the other corner. Again, I'm stopping right where the corner ends. I'm again putting the thread between these 2 layers, just down, and then I am just gonna put the presser foot back down, sew 2 stitches, putting the presser foot up. I'm always leaving the needle inside, and then you see it's also stuck, so that's really nice. Then we put the presser foot back down and sew all the way down. So here we have the collar with the 2 threads which we're gonna need. And what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna cut the seam alone a little bit downwards, also cutting the corner off here. Everything is really nice and flat, and the collar is not too thick. And you see like the corners are also upwards, and that's something we want. And what you're going to do now, you just take both threads, just don't take only one, take both, and you're just going to pull them right here. And you see you have really nice corners. I do exactly the same with the other one. This is just a trick for pulling out corners so they're nice and flat, because sometimes it's a little bit difficult to do so. So that's the collar, and you can now just pull on one side of the thread and you can remove the thread with it, just like that. That's the collar and it's basically done. But what we have to do is, and what it's normal, the top part is just a little bit bigger than the bottom collar, and that's totally fine because you're gonna fold this part to the outside, so it's needs just a little bit more, need a little bit more length to lay nice and also curved, and you see the corners are coming up a little bit, and that's exactly what we want. Grab your top piece, and what you're gonna need, you have to put obviously the part which is which has the fleece lining, you have to put onto the part from your top to the outside. So there have to be the right sides, have to be together, just like that. Focus here just on the marks you have, so you're not missing on anything. So I just sewed them on, how you can see right here, so everything is really nice and flat onto the other side, what we also want. And then right here I seam ripped the bottom part, I seam ripped the button tape right here just about 3 centimeters, because now we're just gonna fold, you see that's 1 centimeter, the seam alone folded, we have the mark right there, and I'm just gonna put the mark onto the mark right there, because the collar is not going all the way through where the button tape is. Just make the collar about this much longer on both sides. It's about 2 centimeter, I would say. Just make them onto the back mid about 2 centimeter on each side, so 4 centimeter wider, and then it's gonna fit as well. But I just pin it right now, and I'm just gonna go ahead and sew right here and right there, and then just gonna fold that over. And after, you can just turn them inside out, and you have nice corners, and the same with the other side. We can now push this one down and the seam upwards all the way. You can also iron it, that's totally fine. And then, so I'm just gonna fold that downwards. And what I'm also going to do, I'm folding this 1 centimeter and putting the seam right on top of the seam, so nothing is showing and everything looks nice and clean. I'm putting a pin in. I'm just going to go all the way around, and after I made that, also focus that you're not stretching anything too bad or so. I'm also going to put the shoulder seam first, the back mid obviously first, and then it's gonna work like that, and we have a nice inside and outside. That's probably not how you're gonna sew on a collar for a polo shirt, but it's just a classy way, and I don't want to use like a cover up band or whatever, so I'm just gonna do it this way. But if you like, you can also do it otherwise. So, and then whenever you come to the part right here, you do exactly the same. So you're just folding this part up and folding the other part just 1 centimeter inwards, and right on top, right, and then really close to the button tape where we want it to be. You can also just go 1 millimeter on top of that, that's also totally fine. And I'm just gonna sew all the way around. Collar is now done, It's both sewed really well, and you see like the collar is also going downwards. I decided about not top stitching it, but I did top stitch right here, so it's just like a little seam here and there as well, so it goes just by one seam all the way around. And we can move now on to the skirt. I did the same with the lacing right here, and that's the top part. And what we just have to do is we have to attach these two parts. So the right side's up, and I have to put them right sides together. That's just what I'm going to do, and I'm going to do the same with the bottom part and with the top part. So you just put the elastic on top of to the elastic, so nothing can like move right there. And also the front mid you can put on top of each other just like that, so everything's nice and straight. So that, and I'm gonna do exactly the same with the back part, so just put them right sides together. I did the same with the elastic, and I'm just gonna attach them by the waist. And then here on the back you have to stretch the fabric just a little bit, and that's totally fine. So both sides, so I'm attaching the skirt onto the top. So I just attach it. Again, you can use a serger or a zigzag stitch, it's up to you. And I'm putting them now right sides together because now we have to close the seam, and you're just attaching the side seams, but on one side you have a little clip which is the seam for your slit, so you just want to sew all the way to this slit and don't go further. And so you're just gonna put a pin right there. So I just have to sew from this part all the way up here. And the other side I'm just gonna sew normal because you obviously have just one slit. If you like the slit on both sides, just go ahead and do so. If you like, you can also just try on your dress if you like. I did that too, and I have just to make it a little bit smaller on my waist, so I put it on the wrong side, and then I just pinned it like a little bit, made it straight as well, and then I just sewed all the way down. You can do this also because every body shape is just a little bit different, and it's always easier to just try it on and change it by your body. That's the dress. You see here the cutouts look really nice, the top, everything is done right there, and the only thing we have to do is the bottom and the slit. And for the slit, it's really easy because obviously we have the seam alone, and we're just spreading the seam alone just like that. So we're just gonna fold it also 1 centimeter seam alone and just sewing all the way around. And then afterwards I'm doing the hem, and the hem is just pretty easy. You can make it, leave it like it is, or you can make it shorter. For me, I'm just going to do the same with the sleeves, just about 2 centimeters, 1.5 centimeter I measure, and then a top stitch all the way around, and then it's done. So that's it for today. I really hope you liked this video. I love how the dress turned out. It's super cute, and I'm totally gonna wear that to the next birthday party or so. And again, the sewing pattern you're gonna find down below in the description box. And if you're gonna sew something, maybe you want to tag me on Instagram, I would really love to see what you do. And also there you're always gonna see me kind of live what I'm doing and what I'm working about. I'm gonna see you in the next video, and maybe you're gonna give this video a big thumbs up and also subscribe so you don't miss any other video or sewing hacks. I'm gonna do both. And yeah, see you in the next video. Bye!